That verdict yesterday, that guilty on all three accounts, gave Black people in America just a little bit of hope. Even if it's 1% hope, it closed the gap. There's a little bit of hope in our justice system that my life matters. And that's all we have been trying to say for 244 years in this country, is we matter. Hi, everybody. My name is CheVaughn Starling. I am a commentator and journalist with Common Sense Network, and I'm just here to talk about what it is that has been happening with the George Floyd trial. Actually, one of the biggest trials that in regard to excessive force in history. And it started way before the trial itself. What people fail to realize is that America has been dealing with social unrest, injustice, well, really since the creation of the country itself. So really just looking back at where we were a year ago to where we are today, and it's still not changing, more so than anything. Like, although we have a verdict, it's a guilty verdict, it's still like a week ago, Daunte Wright was shot and killed by the police. And regardless of what your feelings on that is, this is still a real thing. And we're feeling this. I will say last year, you saw a sense of just not Black America getting fed up with the bullcrap, but everybody. You have places and states like Utah and Idaho yelling Black Lives Matter when the population is -1 of Black people. So it's a sense of solidarity that honestly the country is starting to be woke, as you say, but at the same time, nothing changes if nothing changes. And going through the trial, prosecution explaining what happened and heavily laying out the facts, regardless of how you feel that people persuaded the vote because it would have been social unrest if the verdict didn't go to how it was. The prosecution did a good job laying out what everybody felt, how brought about feelings that was downright traumatic. I know for myself, I couldn't watch all 9 minutes of that video, but to watch that video in all its totality, when they brought it up time after time after time again for 9 minutes and 26 seconds, it's traumatic. As a Black woman, as a Black person in America, it's traumatic. You can't deny that. And the prosecution not only heavily relied on that video, but honestly just laid out facts and witnesses and brought up people to really, highlight that video. And you can't deny that that was excessive force, no matter how you feel about the verdict. But the prosecution, outside of just the facts, they made George Floyd a human, because after all this is said and done, George Floyd is still not with us. George Floyd's family still doesn't have him home. His daughter is growing up without a father after this is all said and done. But at the end of the day, there was justice. That verdict yesterday, that guilty on all three accounts, gave Black people in America just a little bit of hope. Even if it's 1% hope, it closed the gap for just the disparity between the faith that we have in our justice system. And it just closed that gap. And I can't express enough how much that felt. After years, centuries even, of being thought of as property and less than in the American justice system, we finally had one victory. And that might be one victory, but it's enough to shape. People can complain that representatives and politicians like Maxine Waters is really just, like inhabiting and really getting down into like politics and putting politics into this, but they're humans too. And they have the right to feel how they feel. So I get it that people are saying that they're going to take to the streets, but we're angry. We're honestly angry at everything that's happening. And we just needed one. President Biden is holding Congress accountable, trying to hold Congress accountable. But truth be told, President Biden has a hold on this too. He can put executive orders out. And truth be told, you have control of both the House and the Senate. There's no way that the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act cannot go through Congress today. You have the House and the Senate. And if you all can't pass that, shame on you. Shame on you. But President Biden, you have the right to do something. Don't just push your axe behind. Just don't hide behind Congress. You have the right to do something too. Like many presidents before you, you can do an order. Still hold your politicians accountable. But Biden, I don't want to hear that Congress has to do something. You can do something too. And it just doesn't stop here after the verdict. It doesn't. Everybody can hold their politicians accountable for creating change, for fighting for justice, and just holding them to the fire. You said that you was going to put police brutality and excessive force, all these laws, to the forefront when we elected you a year ago, 2 years ago. Do it now. So I just think that this was a win for society. It sucks that police officers, the ones that are good, are held to blame for this too, for their crappy freaking coworkers. But at the end of the day, this case meant that Black lives matter. And not that all lives doesn't matter, but Black lives matter. There's a little bit of hope in our justice system that my life, my son's life, my husband's life, my brother's life, my sister's life, my mother's life matters. And that's all we have been trying to say for 244 years in this country, is we matter. And that's what that verdict meant to the likes of people like me. Hey guys, don't forget, if you want to check more from Common Sense, check the links below. Don't forget to tell us how you feel. What are your thoughts about the verdict? Please share your commentary on all social media platforms. If you want to check more from me, I'm not a social media person like that, but I'm trying to be. You can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We can have a nice sit down and chat. My Facebook is CheVaughn Starling, Instagram Darling Starling 1922, and Twitter is Darstar93. Come over if you want to hear more from me. I write on a weekly basis with Common Sense, and you'll see more of me through the commentary. So, bye.